now going live on YouTube. Good afternoon. I am Jessica Carroll, the Interim Program Manager for Measure 110, and I will be assisting Sabrina Garcia with facilitation for today's meeting. The Oversight and Accountability Council welcomes and encourages community input. Members of the public are invited to submit public comments or get on our interested parties email list by emailing oha.measure110@odhsoha.oregon.gov. That email address and more information about the council can be found on the Measure 110 OAC website. For more information or support with community engagement, please contact Sydney McConnell. OAC members have asked that OHA and other staff who are present in the meeting space introduce themselves in the chat. Please share your role with the agency, and if you are a subject matter expert, your area of expertise. And with that, I'm going to send it over to Sabrina.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hold on one second. Let me turn off my air conditioner. I apologize. I didn't want you to hear that in the background. Anyway, so I would like to call today's agenda, and today's agenda is going to be, we're going to talk about the Byrne grantee subcontract presentation and vote. We're going to be doing the extension signing authority discussion and vote, the tri-chair election, and then we're going to have OHA updates. And with that, I'll turn it to Sydney for attendance.
Hey, hello everybody. If you could please say here when I call your name. Is Amy arrived? Amy? No. Carlos? No. Caroline?
I'm here.
There's Caroline. Hi, Caroline.
Yeah, so I'm here.
Okay. Dharma?
Here.
Hi, Dharma. Hubert?
Here.
Hello, Hubert. Hunter?
Here.
Hi, Hunter. Jackie? Mercer?
Here.
Hi, Jackie. Jaren?
Here.
Hi, Jaren. Keisha?
Here.
Hi, Keisha. Leticia?
Here.
Hey, Leticia. Linda?
Here.
Hello, Linda. Melinda? Melinda yet. Morgan? Don't see Morgan yet. Nicole?
I'm here.
Thanks, Nicole. Hi, Nicole. Onisha?
Here.
Hi, Onisha. Ron?
Here.
Hi, Ron. Ryan?
Here.
Hi, Ryan. Sabrina?
I'm here.
Hi, Sabrina. Zeb?
I'm here.
Hey, Zeb. And Tori?
Present.
Hi, Tori. And I know Ebony will not be here today. I'm going to go back to the top in case anyone joined. Amy? Carlos? Melinda? Morgan?
Right, I'm here. Morgan.
Oh, there's Morgan. Hi, Morgan. All right, we have 17. Back to you, Sabrina.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Sydney. I would like to now pass it to our next presenter, who is a Byrne grantee subcontract with their presentation from Soval T from Multnomah County.
Sabrina, I'm going to go ahead and admit Tim. Hi, Tim. Logan, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, welcome. We're going to go ahead and start your slideshow for you. We're going to share our screen, start your slideshow, and let you get started. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, certainly. All right. Well, let me tell you who I am. I'm Tim Logan, the agency administrator of Soval T, which is a culturally responsive agency located in North East Portland. We deal mainly in men's work, predominantly doing domestic violence, fatherhood classes, co-parenting, skill building, and the like. However, when we started, you can change the slide so we know what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk mainly about why we started, what we started, why we applied for this particular grant, and why we use associates and contractors or associates rather than full-time employees. You can go to the next slide. In our young years, if you will, my background is in federal pretrial service, adult parole and probation, juvenile parole and probation, mainly centered around gangs. In 2000, when I left my job and became associated with Sonia and Valerie of the SoVal, we noticed some commonalities between us. Sonia had a background in Department of Human Health Services, and Sonia had her background in providing women's care through trauma-informed services. Each of them, and as well as I, had experienced policies and procedures that were put together that worked basically based on the system, but sometimes the attitudes of the individuals within the system prevented them from being as helpful as they needed to. You can change the slide. The formatting of the purpose was kind of unique in that we saw all the barriers, but we understood that people were recognizing there were barriers and that equity was becoming one of the things that was necessary, whereas we didn't want there to be anything equal, because as you can see with the first slide, equality doesn't necessarily mean equity. And then even with equity, there's still some barriers and some setbacks. So what we were striving for was liberation. With that comes, yes, the principle of liberation, but how do we get there? We decided to use two main things: adult learning theory and early learning theory. Okay, there are a lot of things in the middle between becoming an adult and when you're starting out in school that get skipped over because of the trauma of it all, growing, learning, changing, the people who are teaching you, your mentors, your models, your socialization. You can change the slide again, please. So it came to pass that we decided that we were going to do domestic violence intervention, but we recognized that starting a business and coming up with a company and all of that good stuff was going to be more expensive than we could afford. But we also recognized that we wanted to train people so that the systems that we came from would have the acumen to be able to perform these duties without having created compassion fatigue, which then stunted whatever kind of progress that they were trying to make, because people would get apathetic towards doing their job. They wouldn't necessarily connect the way they should be. And because they had a job, they didn't really have to worry about the people they were serving if they didn't have a connection, because their main purpose was to get a job. Our quest was then to provide the opportunity for people with regular jobs, African-American people in particular, because we're a specialized agency, to come and actually put their heart into doing something that was going to make a difference and be able to use that difference to stave off some of the compassion fatigue by the normal realms of providing service. Those normal realms, though, were where they were making their money, where they could actually have car insurance and pay for a house and buy 529s for college and things of that nature. The type of work we're doing, you can change the slide now, was impacted greatly by our decision to apply for Measure 110 monies, because along the way, during our work with fathers, so to speak, or with men who had committed domestic violence or were in some way charged with the crime that constituted domestic violence, we noticed that there was quite a few of these men that were either during the time that they were arrested or prior to engaged in some kind of use or abuse of a substance. When they come out, typically speaking, they're ordered to go through drug and alcohol treatment and then go through domestic violence treatment. The issue that we found very, very clearly was that you can't treat one or the other. They have to be treated the same in a way, because there's a broad intersectionality between the two. The same things that will tempt you to go back to using drugs will likely be some of the same things in a different manner that will likely make you more abusive as well. You can change the slide. What we wanted to do was not only continue to do the work we were doing, but what I, in my quest to try and start a real business and have vacation time and sick time and all of that, when people got to the point where they learned what we were doing, they got better at their jobs and either got a better job, a newer job, or a different position at a place that had all the amenities to offer, and they would leave me. So not only did I have the quest or the heart to continue to do the services, I also recognized that getting someone set up, having a human resources department, having an insurance department, having all of those particular things would mean that I would have to go out and receive funds and do all of this other stuff that really was keeping me away from doing the business that we wanted to do, which was be in the face of the people who were there, people who needed us. So with that on both sides, the high cost of actually maintaining and running a company, and the fact that once I got someone trained, they were leaving, made me come up with the idea of having associates that were committed to doing the work as long as they wanted to, getting the training that they needed, coming in, basically getting fee for service, and then being able to go and do whatever they wanted to do without that connection, but still be connected with someone. And change the slide.
Tim, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we do have one of the council members that have a question. Would you like them to wait until the end, or would you like them to ask that now?
If you would like, you can ask it now.
Okay, Onisha.
Hi, thank you. So my question is for the slide that said people who have or don't have a substance use disorder issue, because Measure 110 is specifically created for those who are struggling with substance use disorder. So that was my confusion.
Well, absolutely. But there is a process through being someone who has a substance abuse issue and someone who has dealt with their issue, is now a peer, but still is on the teeter-totter slope of maybe relapsing or doing things that are switching one thing for the other. You go from drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes to now being a cocaine head, but then you stop drinking, stop smoking, stop using cocaine, then you become a workaholic. It's not what's wrong with you. It's what's happening to you to use the same coping mechanisms. These particular individuals that I say have or have not, they may be in the throes of their addiction. They may be post-addiction. They may be just now realizing that they don't want to drink as much or smoke as much, but had to go through a diversion 10, 15 years ago. Once an abuser, always an abuser, but at the same time, that's my judgment that I put on them that then makes it more difficult for them to be normal, so to speak, whatever their definition of normal is. So traditionally, using these traditional words is what Sovalti doesn't do. So certainly they're in their addiction, but at what level, I'm not going to judge that. I'm going to provide information, being a peer support service that will mainly focus on the soft skills necessary for them to stave off whatever it is that drew them there in the first place, that keeps them right on the edge of perhaps doing something that will be detrimental to their physical, mental, or sobriety. Did that answer your question?
No, not really. It was like a confusing answer. I'm not clear. It doesn't matter what our judgment and our opinion on is to the substance use disorder, but are the participants qualifying as wanting harm reduction, wanting to stop, or using and wanting to continue to use, and they just want a safer route to using, basically is all I'm asking. Do they qualify, yes or no?
I'm not doing harm reduction, I'm doing peer support.
I know that was just a range. I was just giving a systemic range of the services we provide and the particular people we provide services for. If they don't fall in that range somewhere in that continuum, then they don't qualify for Measure 110 services. I was just asking for clarification if they fail somewhere within that range.
They do fall in that range.
Okay, thank you.
92% of the people that come through my program are either smoking weed right now, drinking somewhere, or doing something, and are loosely connected with parole and probation, where either they do have a stipulation that says they need drug and alcohol treatment, or they don't, or it's suggested that they don't. But they come, they present, we do an assessment, and then they refer to the program based on their current use and previous abuse. So where they are in their treatment, that's not what we judge. But yes, they fall in this continuum to receive services here. That's why we ask for this money, because we have people in our program that do use. I thought the question at hand here was why I'm using contractors instead of normal employees. Should I continue?
Yes, if you'd like to, you can go ahead and continue.
Where I was, these men are struggling in one way or another. They're capable and able to make relationship that is strong enough to earn the trust that we need for them to call us at their darkest moments. What I didn't have as a smaller agency, without receiving a whole bunch of funds and maintaining the integrity of the individuals that wanted to come and do the work, was the fact that they could go do work for the normal people, the regular service providers that are out there doing things that may or may not be effective, but also come and develop their own way of dealing with the same or different individuals that they're working with their full-time job, but do it the way in which it's working for the culture and for the ethnicity of the individuals that are engaged in the program. You can change the slide. This budget that was provided to me, if you look at the top, which I'm sure you can't see, allotted for full FTEs of 3,400. If you look down, says services, supplies, it says 4 contractors initially right there. I asked for it, I was given the money, I'm doing the work now, and there's a stumbling block according to the information I received to even be here today. There's a confusion between me using a contractor and why I'm not using individual. I am Sovalti. I'm the only one at Sovalti. The individuals that come work with me have full-time jobs, and Sovalti is technically a part-time job. For them to work full-time for me, my budget that here is $78,000. It doesn't come close to actually helping them have a living wage job. So I use these individuals, have used these individuals for 20 years and have had measurable success with the model that we've used in hiring people to come and perform services for us. I think it's working. These individuals have come and not only learned and gotten better at what they do at Sovalti, but have also gone into developing their own agencies, doing similar or like work. That was what I wanted to do when I created Sovalti, was create something where multiculturalism, which isn't necessarily taught in school with any kind of reality based, people could come and do their internship, understand how we do, why we do what we do, and it didn't matter what ethnicity they were. There was the development of an empathetic approach combined with a theoretical approach that met people where they were, not asking the question, what's wrong with them, how can we fix them, but what happened to them and how have they been dealing with it, to perhaps have a bigger impact in the sustainability of whatever endeavor they came to us for, whether it was drug and alcohol, whether it was mental health, and now to be specific, better intervention, as well as dealing with an alcohol issue. With that, I'll just say thank you. And if you need any further questions about why it is I use contractors or people who I consider associates with an agreement to receive all of their money right now, and at the end of the year receive a 1099 and then pay their tax, I'd be happy to talk more about it.
Yes, thank you very much, Tim. I do actually have a question. So are you a subcontractor looking for more money, or are you asking, you're already an approved entity looking to subcontract?
No, I'm an approved entity already doing this work, have been doing this work since prior to this. the deal is I couldn't pay the people to do it. This allows me to pay the people to do it and expand. So I'm already doing it. I'm not asking for anything. There was some unclarity as to why I'm using these individuals that work with me as contractors. You know, the contract they have is an agreement that I pay them all the money. They represent Sovalti and I give them 1099. They're not a subcontractor, i.e. they have their own business and they're doing this and that and the other thing and I'm contracting them to do our work. No, these are individuals who have a heart and a passion to do this kind of work. And I permit them to come and work with me for a fee for service.
Oh, yes, thank you. That's the part that I do understand. The part that I'm asking for clarity around is, so are you a part of an original burn in Multnomah County as a regular paid, is it
Yes.
supported employment that you're paid for, or?
No, I'm a peer support.
Oh, so you're paid for as peer support and you're looking to subcontract, and I'm just
No,
trying
I'm
to.
not looking to do anything. I'm doing what I'm doing already. I've been doing it like this.
Can I
Yes, please, because I was going to ask a question.
I
Thank
just
you.
want to try to help this along a little bit. So Tim is the owner of Sovalti. Sovalti was approved to provide peer support in Multnomah County. Per your grant agreements, the ones that you all wanted, you retained authority to approve any subcontract. In this case, it is considered a subcontract because he subcontracts out and pays contractors to provide peer support at his organization. So he's just seeking approval per the council's authority to allow him to do that.
Okay, and so my question is, so is he looking to just make a modification and amendment to his budget, or is he asking for more funds? That's where I was confused, and that's where I was seeking the clarity.
I understand that he's not asking for any budget amendments. He's simply asking, remember how we've approved other subcontracts? This is just one of those.
Okay, that totally makes sense. Thank you very much. Ron?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Logan, for being here today. I appreciate your coming and presenting the challenge that you're having. I'm just reminded when I look at the kind of the overall process, my understanding is that that the OAC, the subcommittee, and then the full council approved your grant agreement the way it's currently operating, that you had proposed that you would be using subcontractors as these associates and that you would be paying them on a part-time basis to do the work that you're talking about. And so that's been approved. That's clear to me that was approved by the subcommittee and by the full council. And what it sounds like is that in the grant administration or grant kind of oversight process, the grant administrator reached out to you and asked you to clarify this. However, the council had already approved it. So the grant administrator is kind of going beyond kind of the intent of the council, it seems to me. And I just want to be, and I'm assuming that, that you were contacted and asked to clarify your staffing model. And I just want to be, just kind of just state that's my understanding of it. And so we're only asked to kind of what I'm hearing as a request is that you're asking us to continue the agreement as it was proposed and approved. But there's a new stipulation that you have to actually have a subcontract agreement in place, or the council has to agree to subcontract these employees that were already originally in your proposal.
And again, I believe what I heard you say is I'm seeking approval for something that was already approved because something changed between the approval process and today. So I need to seek this approval today to continue to do what I told you I was going to do in the first place, just so everybody knows what I'm doing.
Right, that's kind of the point I was making.
I just want, sorry,
That's kind of the point I was making. It was clear to me from the original proposal that you are going to have subcontractors.
And is that what's going on, Jessica? I see that you have your hand raised, and then I see Shannon. Since Shannon's ODJ, I would like to take Shannon first.
Oh, yes, please do.
Hi, everyone. Shannon O'Fallon, she, her pronouns, from Oregon Department of Justice. Right, just to clarify, even if a grantee at the applicant stage had identified that they were going to use subcontractors, there is a provision in the grant agreement itself that requires the OAC to approve all subcontracts. So that is why this is before you today. So sort of the fact that you knew that there would be subcontractors doesn't mean that those were approved, because there was no grant agreement in place at the time. So this isn't, I would say that it's not accurate to say that this is a grant administrator sort of going above and beyond. This is taking a decision to the OAC that needs to be made to approve a subcontract, and then subcontractors of grantees have to ensure that those subcontracts comply with other provisions that are in the grant agreement. So I hope that helps. Happy to clarify more if I can.
Thank you for that clarification.
I really didn't understand that at all, because I'm not necessarily a legal person. So that sounded like a lot of legal stuff, but I know you know what you're talking about. Okay, so it's not that I doubted. I'm just clarifying that I didn't understand what that meant.
Thank you very much. Does anybody else have any questions? And with hearing no other questions, is Tim free to go, Jessica, as far as the presentation?
He is free to go. He is, yeah. Thanks, Tim. If you want to watch the vote on YouTube, it's about to happen.
Thank you very much, Tim, and you have a great day, and sorry about the confusion language.
No worries.
So I would just like to start it out with discussion. Can we, is it time?
That's up to you.
Okay, I just want, yeah, so from what I'm hearing and what I'm understanding more clearly now with some advice from DOJ, this entity's already been approved for services. The approval they're seeking now is just to subcontract more. And we do approve people that have been approved to subcontract if they need to. And so I just want to clarify that's what I heard, because I was a little bit confused at first. And so is that kind of accurate?
I think that's mostly accurate, Sabrina.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank gosh.
Just another subcontract we're bringing to you.
Okay.
We've brought a few before. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely makes more sense now. And so I'll go ahead and turn it to Dharma.
Yeah, it's not that they're adding any extra services beyond what they originally told us. It's just that if any burn wanted to do anything like this, they would have to get a vote on it. So that's my understanding.
Yes, thank you, Dharma. And Keisha?
Yeah, I was just wondering for the is it that does whoever he subcontracts with need to be listed out in the application or something? Or it can be anyone?
I think they do have to fall within like your rules, like if it's a peer support specialist, they need to be certified as a peer support specialist. But we didn't ask for people to name out who their employees are in any of the application processes.
Okay.
So from my point of view, if there's no more other questions, from my point of view, I think we can just grant what he's asking. We've granted it in the past. He's not asking for any funding. He's just asking to subcontract. We have done that before. I don't know if there's a motion that you guys already created. I see that Ron has his hand up, and then Keisha. Go ahead, Ron.
I was going to make the motion, but Keisha, go ahead, Keisha.
I was just gonna say, as we make this motion, have somebody really provide some technical assistance, because if he's not clear on what needs to happen or what's going on, if I feel like he should get some technical assistance around that to explain to him, the process.
I agree as well. Then maybe language a little like language I would understand as well, if that sounds appropriate. So go ahead, Ron, if you'd like to call a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request for Sovalti Inc. of Multnomah County to subcontract.
I second that
second.
motion.
All right, so we have a motion by Ron, we have a second by, saw Jackie, I heard somebody else. So we'll put
That would have
Jackie.
been Melinda, but it's okay.
Okay, sorry, Melinda. I didn't see the little green around your name. So we have a motion from Ron to approve. We have a second by Jackie. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Jaron?
I'm pretty new, and so I was kind of hesitant on saying anything or asking questions, but here I go. So the question I had about subcontractors is a point you brought up about people needing to be certified peers in order to provide peer support. And so if is there already, so I guess I'm confused about this. How are we going to know that the people who are being subcontracted to do this work are certified peers? Like how, I'm confused there.
So, Ron, sorry, I didn't mean to just jump in. Ron, did you want to?
No, you can jump in, but I was just going to say, well, it's in our rules that, they're very specific rules regarding who can do peer support work. It's and what they are: peer wellness specialists, peer support specialists, certified recovery mentors. I think there are a couple others: family mentors, youth recovery mentors, and they're in our rules, and it's required.
Thank you very much, Ron. And did that answer your question, Jaron?
Yeah, and I got a follow-up question. So are we operate on the assumption that the people who are going to be subcontracted are that fit into that?
Yeah, it's also in the grant agreement that folks sign that they have to follow the ORs. People need to be certified. So yeah.
So it's fair to
Thank
say,
you.
in the long run, they do have to prove that they're certified people per the OARs or Chapter 944 rules, and then for the grant agreement.
Yeah, we ask for that in our reporting as well.
Okay.
How many employees have you hired? What are their certifications? What are they hired to do?
Perfect. Is there any further discussion? Zeb has his hand up. Go ahead, Zeb. You're on mute, Zeb.
Thank you. Real quick, sounds like a great organization doing some really good things. I just want to clarify that. So in the original application, they specified that they were subcontracting. And I don't know if anybody knows it. Jessica's shaking her head yes. Okay, I just want to make sure, because that's a big difference in people coming after the fact and trying to add subcontractors that weren't in the original grant application. Right. So this isn't that. It sounds like.
No, it isn't that. Just you all were very clear that you wanted to retain the authority to approve subcontracts when they related to services being provided, right?
No, and that's and that was a very important part. I know for us, because we want to make sure, because we were approving grant applications, we want to make sure that we knew what was going on with these organizations, what services they were providing, and if they're going to add subcontractors at some point. Yeah, we wanted to definitely know who those people were. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you very much, Zeb. Is there any further discussion? And then there was a motion already on the table. Sydney, did you want to take the vote?
Can y'all hear me now? Okay, good. Thank you. Sorry, I'm got a bunch of devices going over here. So the motion I put in the chat is to approve subcontract request from Sovalti and Multnomah County. Amy, I don't think has made it. Carlos, how do you vote?
Now that I had a chance to hear more, yes.
Thank you, Carlos. Caroline.
Yes.
Thank you, Caroline. Dharma.
Yes.
Thank you, Dharma. Hubert.
Yes.
Thank you, Hubert. Hunter?
Yes.
Thank you, Hunter. Jackie?
Yes.
Thank you. Jaren?
Yes.
Thank you. Keisha?
Yes.
Thank you. Leticia?
Yes.
Thank you. Linda?
Yes.
Thank you. Melinda?
Yes.
Thank you. Morgan?
Yes.
Thank you. Nicole?
Yes.
Thank you. And I see Onisha voted yes in the chat. Ron?
Yes.
Thank you. Ryan?
Yes.
Thank you. Sabrina?
Yes.
Thank you. And Zeb?
Yes.
Okay, so that passes unanimously with 18. Back to you, Sabrina.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Sydney. I will now pass it to Jessica for the grant and amendment signing authority.
Hi, all. We have a vote for you today. And I'm gonna take you through a little bit of history for those of you who weren't on the council. I know we have some new members. So in preparation for executing the original grant agreements that are now going to be extended through amendments, the council decided to delegate authority or give signing authority to at least one of the tri-chairs, meaning that we try to get all 3 tri-chair signatures on each one of these grant agreements, but sometimes that isn't possible. Life happens. And so this is just authorizing that at least one of them need to sign a grant agreement, or each grant agreement or grant amendment in this case. And so we just wanted to affirm that that is still true for the amendments. And so we have just a quick proposed motion here. If somebody would like to make it, if you have any questions about that, please feel free to ask, and I will answer them to the best of my ability.
I'll go ahead and read it, Jessica. So the proposed motion is, did you have a question now, Ron?
Right, I was, sorry, I was a little distracted. So is this a change or not a change?
It's not a change. We're just affirming that it's also true for the amendments. As you can see, we added and amendments.
Okay.
The original motion that was made, I think Sydney put it in the chat. It was like May of last year. We're just adding and amendments just to be clear. And so we're clear to all of the new members as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I have one follow-up?
Sure.
So will all the tri-chairs receive the contracts to review, or?
Yeah, it's going to happen just like it did last time.
Okay.
And if you recall last time, sometimes, because I think you were one of the signers, Ron, sometimes
Yes.
life happens and somebody couldn't get to one. We just don't want it to stop.
Right, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Absolutely. Anyone else with questions?
Okay, so I'm going to read the proposed motion, which is one or more of the tri-chairs have the authority to sign grant agreements and amendments. Did I say it correctly?
You did. Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
Oh, well, I saw Melinda first. Sorry, Morgan.
Is there any
I
further
started.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're just going to go with Melinda this time.
And is there any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, Sydney, do you want to take the vote?
Yes. Sorry, my paste is wanting to go into 2 different cells, but so the motion is one or more tri-chairs have the authority to sign grant agreements and amendments, and that was seconded. Let's see. Amy still not here. Carlos, how do you vote?
I apologize. I am not really with right now because I just found out my mom is going into hospice. And I am not able to focus on today's session. And I am deeply sorry that I can't vote right now.
It's okay, Carlos. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. So sorry to hear that. Carolyn, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Dharma? Did we lose Dharma? I'll come back to Dharma. Hubert?
Yes.
Hunter?
Yes.
Jackie?
Yes.
Jaren?
Yeah.
Keisha?
Yes.
Thank you. Leticia?
Yes.
Thank you. Linda?
Yes.
Thank you. Melinda?
Yes.
Thank you. Morgan?
Yes.
Thank you. Nicole?
Yes.
Thank you. Onisha did vote yes in the chat again. I saw that. Ron?
Yes.
Thank you. Ryan?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
And Zeb?
Yes.
Thanks. I'm just gonna run back up to the top really quickly. Amy and Dharma. Did Dharma come back?
Are we
I just-
voting on the change to the signing?
Yes.
I'm gonna vote yes.
Okay. All right. So that is everything, and that passes with 17 yes votes. Back to you, Sabrina.
Okay, with nothing else, I would like to go ahead and jump right into the tri-chair election. What we're looking for is for the tri-chair election for somebody to self-nominate by raising their hands if anybody's interested in this commitment.
This one is over at Income for Life.
I see Carolyn Cruz has her hand. Yes, Carolyn?
So I understand Carlos is going through a hard time, but I would like to nominate Carlos because he did show an interest the last couple of meetings. So I would like to nominate Carlos.
Thank you, Carolyn. Carlos, I'm not sure if you feel like speaking to this right now.
I am trying to decide on this. I would just need to know the time commitment part of it. I think I could probably make it manage it. I want to be able to say it's been an honor to be a part of this this board. I think that I would like to be a tri-chair. I'm sorry.
Carlos, due to the sensitive nature of everything that's going on, I know that there's a lot of us that are interested in you running for the tri-chair position, but at this time, I'm thinking maybe we could put it on hold, Jessica, or how do you feel about that?
I think we can definitely put it on hold. It's fine. We do this early to give some time for the new tri-chair to sit with the previous tri-chairs and come to some meetings. There would still be time to do that. So let's just give Carlos some space and grace here, and we can do this next time for sure.
I think that's a very good thing. And then also, Jessica, I know because of the serial communication that I can't reach out to Carlos myself, but I myself was in a similar situation, and I know the tri-chairs gave me grace and they gave me time and they let me do what I had to do before I recommitted back to joining onto the back into the tri-chair position. So I'm not sure if Carlos is aware he could have that time with whatever, if you guys can relay that to him. Jessica, when the
Yeah.
time is right. Also, okay, so Carolyn, do you still have your hand up? I'll come back to you, Carolyn. Lakeisha?
Yeah, I was just gonna suggest that maybe we revisit it. I just walked through this with a couple people, and let Carlos have time to process and figure out what's going on and like revisit it. It's not emergency, so let's revisit it, and he can make a decision or not.
And I agree.
But I want to send my prayers and all that to your family, Carlos.
Thank you very much, Keisha. And then so Jessica, I believe it is your turn.
All right. And just know, Carlos, that everybody here cares for you a great deal. And some of us have been through this ourselves, as you've heard, and we're just here for you. You have my number, and call me if you need to. All right. And we'll definitely revisit this next week or next meeting. I always say week. I'm so sorry. All right. So with that, I'm going to give some OHA updates. We're ready for that. So we have I'm going to start. So there's going to be an RSVP for or it went out this morning, I think, or last night, an RSVP for the in-person gathering. Please do click on that link in the email and complete the questions, even if you're not going to be there, so we have it all in one spot. And once we have that, we're going to reach out again to you with some more information, especially if you're going to need lodging. So it's very important that everybody does that, especially so folks can get reimbursed for gas and things. So that training, Dharma.
Actually, I'm just gonna say my question for the tri-chair meeting. Never mind.
Okay. Easy enough. Sabrina.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in my mailbox, and I'm using my work email because I can't get access into my other email.
Yeah, we did have some, so just so you know, we had a few challenges with that email. We'll definitely get it back out. Well, we can resend it to everyone. We want to make sure you get it. So sorry about that. Internet gremlins, I guess. Apologies. So just please do fill out that link. And we can move on from there. Second, we have an equipment form update. Sydney, do you want to give that?
Yeah, so I think we talked last meeting about how the notes we got from the team that was helping us weren't super clear, and rather than having all of you rehash everything and all the steps that you've taken with us, we're going to send out a form similar to the one that we sent out ahead of the meeting last year that just says what equipment you have and what your login status is, essentially, so we can have that to reference and build off of. So that'll be coming out, I think, Friday. That'll be coming to you in your email, another form similar to the RSVP one.
Thank you, Sydney. Next, we have I think I've mentioned this in a previous meeting. We have a conflict of interest form that we're going to be sending out to y'all immediately after this meeting. Please do thoroughly read the email, thoroughly read the documents, and complete that with the Oregon Government Ethics Commission. We are also, our training that we were just talking about, our get-together, is actually a training by the Oregon Government Ethics Commission as well. So hopefully you'll get to talk to them a couple times. We really need to understand your conflicts so that once we have a grant amendments to approve, we understand how we can move those through this council, ensuring that we have quorum, because there may be some conflicts. So it's really, really, really important that y'all do this in preparation for those votes. Seeing no questions. We have, and I think my last update is just that the media subcommittee is going to happen again on, I don't have the date in front of me, Cindy McConnell.
23rd.
Thank you. August 23rd. And so if you still want to be a part of that and you have not sent us your interest, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do that, especially if you're new to the council.
What was that for again? I missed that.
That's okay. It's the media subcommittee, Melinda.
Okay, yep.
I was going to say that the 16th. Just now, Jessica said the 23rd, and I was like, there is no way I agreed to facilitate. Because I was like, I agreed to facilitate that one. I would not agree to that if it were my birthday. So yes, that is the 16th, not the 23rd. Thank you very much.
Well,
there is an OAC meeting on the 23rd, though. So
sorry. So first of all, I was wrong. I apologize. Second of all, happy birthday, Morgan. Happy early birthday. Oh yeah, we don't want you facilitating anything on your birthday. All right. And that's all I have. Back to you, Sabrina.
Thank you very much. And I just want to say, as far as my tri-chair role, I will still be a council member, but this is my last time facilitating a OAC meeting. So I'm super excited, looking forward to the next person. I will be officially transitioning out in September. So I asked if I could please do this meeting so I can just have that one last experience. So thank you. And if there's nothing else, that we can go ahead and close for today. Jessica has something.
I do have something. I just want to say thank you for all of your service, Sabrina. You've been a tri-chair twice. It's been a pleasure having you as a tri-chair. And we're so happy you're staying on the council, number one, but number two, just much appreciation to you.
Thank you, Jessica. And I know I've been a bear at sometimes, so I would like to go ahead. We'll turn it to Zeb.
Yes, I'd like to echo Jessica. Sabrina, you're amazing. You've been what a tremendous advocate for all Oregonians you've been. The future is so bright for you, and I'll be still going to see you all the time. So thank you for everything.
Thank you, guys. And I'm looking forward to the next tri-chair rotation for sure for whoever's going to take that seat. I appreciate you, Zeb, and you guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.